Right, so at a time when you would think with elections coming up, the locals, important stuff regarding how government is run in your local area, already they suffer from poor turnout, inspiring people not to bother even more, has been sparked off by an appearance on Robert Peston's ITV show, which has kept people raging on social media all week long. The right-winger in question here was Lisa Nandy. Looks like butter wouldn't melt, but she's as poisonous as any other parliamentary Starmerite right now. And she got into a heated debate with John McDonnell, formerly Jeremy Corbyn's number two, probably the best-known left-wing Labour parliamentarian not yet purged by Team Keith. He's somebody that comes in for some flack, not just from the right for being on the left, but by the left for being seen still to this day as too placating of the Labour right, of being the sort these days to keep his head down and knowing his place in Starmer's regime. He cops a lot and not always unjustifiably. Anyway, things blew up between them on the show over Starmer's attack ads. McDonnell was condemning them for the sort of vile gutter politics that they are, and Nandy was defending them. McDonnell was in full placate the right-wing mode by saying stuff like, "This isn't you, Lisa. I know you. You never go for the person," referencing the personal line of attack against Rishi Sunak as the ads do, rather than the Tory party itself. And he went on saying Nandy goes for the facts and goes for the policy issue, and Nandy nods throughout. Nandy is quoted as having said in 2015, just after Jeremy Corbyn became Labour leader, that we'll break him as a man, implying very much that she is the sort of person to go for the individual who says stuff like that regarding a new leader, for heaven's sake. But of course, as history of the Labour Party in recent years has shown, since 2015 especially, if they're not in control themselves, the Labour right are quite happy to bring their own party down. Nandy responded to McDonnell by fundamentally proving him wrong to think so highly of her. McDonnell had finished his turn by agreeing that Braverman and Sunak were going low with their style of politics. It's what the Tories always do. But said at the end, when they go low, we go high. We, as in the Labour Party, are better than that. Nandy simply responded that she didn't agree that Sunak shouldn't take responsibility for his actions. Not what McDonnell had said. He agreed with that point. He just struggled that somebody like Sunak, who is a father himself, could be soft on child abusers, as the attack ads had accused him of. But Nandy shot back by saying that McDonnell, with a smirk on her face no less, that he was a senior member of the Labour Party when Labour was found to have breached equalities laws by the EHRC and brought us to our lowest point in our 100-year history, and I will not take lessons from you about civility in politics. This is what she said to John McDonnell. Now, McDonnell hadn't really even attacked her. He was attacking the ads. He was urging Nandy to prove that she was better than this, and she proved, as most of us in the public eye know who pay passing attention to this woman, she proved she absolutely isn't by implying this is the worst course of events ever seen in the Labour Party's history. I think a million dead Iraqis, courtesy of Bush and Blair concocted lies, might disagree with you, you absolute balloon. Lisa Nandy, despite John McDonnell's kind words, has all the likability of an untreated dental abscess. My tolerance of such people as this, my resistance to Keir Starmer's useful idiots doing the media rounds is already low, but Nandy boiled my piss so badly, she's clearly immunity evasive. She said all of this with a smile on her face, for heaven's sake. If this was such a dark period, why are you looking so gleeful? And it's simply because she's landed her attack line. Right-wingers in the Labour Party wear antisemitism like a parachute, and the minute the opportunity arises, they pull the ripcord. She'll have been looking for somewhere to shoehorn it in, and she did so. And you know it's a line, because it gets repeated elsewhere, and so often by other Labour right figures as well. Her line landed, though. Lowest point in our 100-year history. Others lapped that up. Not least on Labour's National Executive Committee, where you would think conduct of the highest standard was required. One such individual who's very vocal in his attacks on the left is Abdi Duale, also the NEC Equalities Committee Vice Chair, rather perversely, I think. He tweeted out, "The irony of John lecturing anyone on civility in politics, given the part he played in the Labour Party's darkest history, is staggering. I'm glad Lisa Nandy called him out on his staggering hypocrisy." Again, the matter of the Iraq war evades him, but then, of course, that was the Labour Party right. They probably still think they liberated these people, though the fact a million were liberated from ever drawing breath again, notwithstanding. And of course, what came after? The political vacuum that was left behind, because we never clean up our warring messes, do we? Which saw the birth of ISIS and massive instability in the Middle East. The fact Blair became Middle East peace envoy later and had the brass neck to take up the job shows how absolutely shameless the king of the Labour right actually is, aside from the fact he keeps intervening most unwelcomely in politics to this day. The thing is, Duale knew he was on shaky ground by putting this out, because like all cowards you gob off on Twitter, he locked his tweet, preventing people from commenting on it. But as I've mentioned before, that doesn't stop people quoting the tweet and still having their saying about it. Quotes included, "You know, Abdi's got a good point when he turns off replies. Labour bully supports Labour bully by blaming the victim of bullying. This clown with replies turned off because he knows he's talking guff. And most poignantly, and which Lisa Nandy also forgot, was, can Abdi explain how McDonnell is held responsible for being part of the shadow cabinet during Labour's darkest hour, but not Starmer, who was also part of the same shadow cabinet?" Well, indeed. Answer that one. But clearly that wasn't his fault. He had nothing to do with that. Just those rotten lefties, and Keith was only ever pretending to be one of those, wasn't he? It all strikes me as an ongoing war because left members won't get back in their boxes like they've always done before. Corbyn was a Pandora. He opened a box, let out all the opportunities for working class people that had been sealed away by the politicians representing vested interests instead of representing us. And the Labour right cannot stand not being in charge and get it all their own way. And they're trying to shut down all of this inspiration, all these ideas. They're trying to shut them all away again because they have no intention of ever delivering on them whatsoever. Politicians like Lisa Nandy only wanting them denied to us and will stoop to Tory depths of disgust in order to achieve that. There's a very apt quote by comedian Alexei Sale, who recently narrated the film Oh, Jeremy Corbyn, The Big Lie, which has been screening up and down the country, with Labour members and councillors even having been warned not to attend any of these screenings by the Starmer regime or risk getting the boot. Yeah, sure, Keith Stalin, try policing that one. But Sale is quoted as saying, and absolutely truer words were never said, saying, "The left of the party are nice, decent people, and it was a privilege to meet them. The right of the party are some of the most effing horrible people, vile, gruesome people. I've never met such awful people as those on the right of the Labour Party." He's still being proven right, of course, and it's not likely to change while they still think they can win despite behaving like they are. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated this video, please do hit like and subscribe, leave a comment and hit the notification bell too so you don't miss the next one. Also look out for me on social media and other interesting stuff by clicking on the Linktree link in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Cheers, folks.